Yeah, Colin and Paul are very different. You know, Paul's very, I'm not sure what the right word to use, but he's extremely like revved and passionate about it, and he's always thinking. And Colin's got a sort of a more relaxed approach to life. You know, he's his son Joe's obviously taken a lot of the pressure off him down at Venn there. So look, they're very different people. You know, Colin's sort of, I don't know how to describe him, but they're nothing alike. You know, but you know, at the same time they're two fantastic trainers, and not only that, from riding out with Paul and Colin, they both do they train their horses very differently as well. So yeah, look, you know, I'm just delighted to be part of both yards. You know, when you've got backing from two huge stables like that, you're very fortunate, aren't you? Yeah, look, you know, to be offered both jobs was a lovely thing to happen, but it was also quite stressful when you're only sort of 18 years old. But you know, I stayed with Paul, and I still ride a lot for Colin, and we've got a really good relationship. So yeah, look, I'm happy with the decision I made, and you know, we all get on very well. So that was the main thing anyway. Yeah, obviously, I was brought up on a farm, so you know, farming's not that easy. The farmers aren't getting exactly paid well for their produce or and their goods. So you know, it's never easy. They work hard and they don't take their labour into consideration. But you know, it's a lovely way of life. Working for themselves, working outside, and you know, working with animals is something that I suppose most farmers love to do. If they took their time and everything into consideration, I'd say, and saw what they got paid, I'd say they probably wouldn't do it. But it's just sort of a way of life for them, and that's what they know, and that's what they love to do. You know, I'm fortunate that I see the good things on the farm at home, whereas you know, I'm not there every day. I can turn up and, you know, walk the dogs around the farm and have a look around and do a bit of work when I please, but you know, I'm not there all the time, and I can go racing, and that's where I get my income from. But I'd say if I was probably relying on the farm to make me a living, I might be a little bit different about it. Yeah, I had a bad quad bike. I can't really remember. I think my dad was going to work driving up the drive, and I was racing a big quad bike that I probably shouldn't have been on. I definitely shouldn't have been on it at the time, and I was racing it up and down the drive, and it was a real rainy day, and I thought, how fast can I get from the top to the bottom? And there was like loads of flooding and whatnot at the time, and I hit a big hole in the track, and flipped the bike and split my head right open. So it was probably not the brightest thing I've ever done, and yeah, I was quite lucky really. It could have been a lot worse.
And how long did it take to heal mentally and physically?
Mentally, probably about a day and a half, but physically, quite a bit longer. You know, it was fairly bad. I had a lot of stitches and glue and lots of different stuff. So I was very lucky to get away with that one. Definitely not. You know, if you went out to ride a racehorse scared, I think that's probably when you get hurt, because you might second judge yourself, and if you're not 100% positive or committed in what you're doing, I think the horse knows that, and that's when accidents happen. If you, for example, if you're going down to a fence and you see a long one, and then half a stride away you change your mind, the horse changes his mind as well, and then I think that's when you end up on the floor. So I think if I ever did get scared, I'd probably hang my boots up straight away, because that would be not only that, if you're scared going out, you're not going to enjoy it, are you? So yeah, no, if I got scared, I'd definitely stop straight away, because you know, you probably have more of a fear of getting hurt than anything. No, obviously I've got no qualifications, but yeah, I wasn't a clever student at school, but I wasn't, you know, I wasn't stupid. But you know, I think if, you know, God forbid anything did happen, I'd be clever enough to find something else that I could do. You know, and you know, I could go back on the farm tomorrow if I wanted to, or find a job somewhere. So, you know, I think qualifications do matter, but if I could have done anything different, I probably would have stayed at school and got some sort of qualification. But you know, at the end of the day, if you've got something about you, then someone's definitely going to employ you out there, aren't they? If you're determined enough to put the work in, then you're always going to get a job somewhere. I did, yeah. I rode at Leicester when I had my English GCSE or something. My mum called me on the way there, and she said, "Are you on your way to Leicester yet?" I said, "Yeah." And she was going mad down the phone, and I was like, "Oh, what's wrong?" She said, "You've got your English GCSE today." I said, "Oh yeah, no, I know about that," and I didn't say a word. And she had the school call her, and she wasn't best pleased anyway, I'll say that. But thankfully the horse won, and yeah, it was sort of it was my first big day, my first winner in a hunter chase, and you know, it was sort of the real sort of start of a roller coaster, you know. I've ridden so many good horses in such a short space of time. You know, I won my first Grade 1 when I was still claiming. You know, and you know, I think I must have been all right when I started out. Paul's obviously very loyal to his jockeys that put the work in at home. So if you ride out there or work there, he doesn't normally go to outside people to give them a chance. And you know, I say, I was just lucky at the time. You know, Irving was Nick Schofield's ride, but Sapphire de Roux came here and he was favourite for the Hennessy, so Nick came and rode him in the Hennessy, and I went to ride Irving and he won the Fighting Fifth, so that was quite, you know, lucky. And I had a lot of sort of high profile rides on a Saturday from an early start. Dave Roberts worked very hard for me when I was claiming. I rode for loads of trainers when I was claiming, and I suppose I started getting on well with COLIN TIZZARD. I think I rode 40-something winners for him one year. So, you know, I was always sort of fortunate that it all sort of fell into place at the right time. You know, I say it's lucky, but, you know, it can't all be luck. It can't keep happening all the time. So, you know, they must see something in you to give you a chance, can't they? So, yeah, look, it's happened very quickly, and I don't really stop and think about, cool, that's happened quick. But you know, if you do actually take a step back and look at it, it's been an unbelievable roller coaster, and I've ridden so many good horses, and I've ridden for loads of good people, and I've been very, very fortunate. Do I ever think I'm up there? No, definitely not, because you know, when you're I've always thought when you think you've made it, there's only one slippery slope, and that's down. And someone said to me once, "Don't ever upset anyone on the way up, because you'll meet them all on the way down." So no, I never think I'm better than anyone else or whatever. You know, you've got to be humble, and I think the minute you start acting or being like that, then you do start going on a downward curve, don't you? No, I'm not keen for fame or spurts, but to be honest, I'm I'm happy enough sort of going along, riding a living, and trying to make as much money as I can. You know, I don't think all their sort of fame and all that's not really for me. It doesn't really do anything. You know, someone saying you're wonderful, that it doesn't do anything for me anyway. So. You know, I don't know. I don't think being a jockey you'll ever get like that anyway. If you're a racing driver or a footballer or something like that, it's a lot different, isn't it? people think jockeys just turn up on the racetrack and ride the horses and go home, but it's very different to what everyone thinks. You know, even the top lads ride out in the morning. You know, Richard Johnson, for example, he rides out nearly every day, and from an outsider's point of view, a lot of the public just think he turns up and gets the job done on the day, and that's why he rides all those horses. No one sees sort of behind the scenes, you know, and him riding out, and he probably takes the odd fall now and again in the morning, schooling young horses or something. So it's a lot different to what the public realise, you know.